What's up, weirdos? Welcome back to another episode of Insanity with Kyle. Kyle's first decision of the morning was made wisely. I'm going to exit the bed. I'm going to exit his bed and took a quick glance around his bedroom. I'm going to open the closet. Kyle opened the closet. It was dark and he could only really see his hanging shirts to choose an outfit. Jeans and swimming goggles, skunk pasties, slick suit, or suit of armor. I'm going to try to go for an approach that is like, I actually do good. So I'm going to slick suit. Kyle miraculously crammed his dumpy body into the suit. His chest pockets were filled with random knickknacks. Kyle returned to the center of the bedroom. I'm going to sit at my desk. Kyle made his way over to the desk and sat down. Write notes for interview. Kyle wrote down his first question. Are you a mother? Kyle wrote down his second question. What are some diet tips? Kyle wrote down his third question. What's your funniest story? Kyle wrote down his last question. What do you feel guilty? Kyle ripped out his page of notes out of the notebook and got up from the desk. I'm checking the drawer. Kyle opened up his side drawer on his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. I'll take the flashlight. Okay. Kyle made his way over to the desk and sat down. Checking his drawer. Kyle opened up the side drawer on his desk and grabbed one of the items stored there. I'm going to grab the assorted change. Kyle scooped up this change scattered around the desk drawer. Okay. I'm going to go back to the room. I'm going to exit to hallway and move to kitchen. Kyle walked to the center of the kitchen. I'm going to check pantry. Kyle wanted to access the pantry, but found it was locked with a small keyhole. Okay. I'm going to return to hallway and leave apartment. Walked out into the middle of a road and took a long pondering look around him. I'm going to visit the tech store. Kyle walked into the clean white tech store. He was greeted by Techno Jim, an elaborate cutout mascot with flashing lights. We can we can steal Techno Jim, ask attendant for a free sample. It's a tech store, Kyle. No. Okay, I'm gonna buy the batteries with change. Kyle counted $1.98 in pennies. In pennies? Gosh dang! And nickels, and traded them for a small packet of batteries. Insert into flashlight. Kyle crammed the batteries into his flashlight. Back to tech shop. I am going to ask attendant for free samples. Kyle asked the store attendant whether they offered any free samples to important customers. The attendant gave Kyle a confused and slightly vacant look. Kyle began to beg for a free sample. Wanting Kyle to leave, the attendant grabbed a decrepit phone meant for spare parts and held it out. You can grab it with teeth or I'll grab it with hand. I want to be as normal as possible. Well, not really, because Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman in an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Approach, Rachel. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responded, and answered politely. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. You're a most welcome guest. After another mild exchange of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking up at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle. Tonight I have the pleasure of interviewing lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction. What is this game? What actually is this game? I can become her. No, I want this to go well. Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she says. I'm glad to be here. In response, Kyle collapsed on the floor from a combination of stressful preparation and not eating anything. Kyle had passed out. Nobody in the studio quite knew what to do with him. They began to poke Kyle in the back to see if he moved. After a while, they ended the broadcast, shut off lights, and went home. Kyle was left face first on the floor. Okay, guys, so you know when we asked, are you guilty? She said that her eyes started twitching. And she started twitching them uncontrollably. So, I'm going to browse social media. Or exit the bed. I don't know. I'm just going to browse social media. Kyle started to scroll through news articles on his phone. Stay Up Late with Kyle ranked #1 and #2 show on television. Wow. Okay. Read more. New East Bridge being constructed after being found not actually exist. Authorities investigating. Read more. Another grand larceny and crime spree streak. Evidence points to a perpetrator fleeing the country. Okay. Rachel may unexpectedly leave the country on a very, very long vacation after interview tonight. I think we found what she's guilty for. Who's a bug vigilante? Recently spotted pursuing larcenists. Kyle fails to show up to several charity events. Bug vigilante shows up to charity events with fresh baked pastries. Donations flourish. Okay, I'm gonna get out of bed. That's enough. Kyle exited the bed and took a quick glance around the bedroom. Going to sit at desk, write notes. Am I a mother? Beef, mashed or blended? What's your funniest story? Are you guilty? Okay. Back to room. Exit bedroom to hallway. Move to kitchen, and I'm gonna eat something. Open fridge. I'm gonna prepare breakfast. Constructed a breakfast of poached eggs and toast along with a small fruit cup and grilled sausage. I'm gonna eat that. Ate his breakfast slowly. Ate his breakfast slowly and thoughtfully, enjoying every bite. He felt refreshed. He walked to the center of the kitchen. I'm going to return to hallway, leave apartment, visit downstairs neighbor. Approaches downstairs neighbor door and knocked. A middle-aged woman named Gabby answered the door. She looked at Kyle expectantly. I'm going to consume Gabby. Kyle unhinged his jaw and swallowed Gabby whole. What is this game? Job done. Kyle returned to the middle of the street. Kyle walked out into the middle of a road and took a long, pondering look around him. Okay. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Rachel's smile quickly turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on any clothes that day. Okay, I forgot to put on clothes. Kyle waved and smiled broadly. Rachel uncomfortably averted her eyes. Imagine a naked guy knocking at your neighbor, naked, knocking at your door, and then he starts to eat you. Imagine that. What is this game? Kyle started making his rounds around the room, greeting each crew member, none of whom looked directly at him. As it became apparent that Kyle had no intention of leaving, Rachel made some excuses and exited the set. One by one, the crew followed suit. Kyle was left all alone. Kyle prepared this. What even is this game? Please tell me. Okay. I'm just gonna spam read more. Okay. Hot dogs making resurgence as fuel source for both humans and tugboats. The heck? Get out of bed. Open the closet. Choose an outfit. Skunk pasties. Okay. Getting slimy garments to stay proved difficult, so Kyle opened to stick them with his body with hot glue. I'm gonna sit at the desk, write notes. Is your mother a mother? Beef, mashed or blended? Do you ever smile? Are you guilty? Okay. Back to desk. I'm going to go back to room, exit bedroom to hallway. I'm going to move to kitchen, open fridge. I'm going to prepare breakfast. I'm going to eat that. Kyle ate his breakfast. I hate that sound. Kyle walked to the center of the kitchen. Return to hallway. Leave apartment. Okay? Kyle hurried to the set. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled. Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here. Kyle responded. Answered politely. And I as well, Rachel, answered Kyle, extending his hand in greeting. You are a most welcome guest. After another mild exchange of pleasantries, Kyle and Rachel were prompted to take their places for the broadcast. A moment after seating, the studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on. Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle, introduced Rachel. Today I can become Rachel May. No, I want to figure out something. Kyle motioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here. Well, I'm sure we have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in, said Kyle. I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile. Kyle, are you guilty? Rachel, are you guilty? Kyle threw his questions on the floor, stood up, and pointed at her. Rachel's eye twitched slightly. Guilty of what, Kyle? She smiled disingenuously. Guilty, spat Kyle, of your crimes! Rachel did not answer. Her eyelids both started twitching uncontrollably. I can call the police. Kyle pulled out his phone and dialed the police. Oh, there's music. There's music. Hello, police, said Kyle. I believe I have found a criminal. Turn on that volume, dang. Rachel began to run towards the exit. On her way, she swatted Kyle's phone out of her hands. I'm gonna trip her. Kyle stuck out his leg. Rachel tumbled and crashed to the floor. But in a moment, she was on her feet. She drew a blunt weapon seemingly out of thin air and started to swing at Kyle. Before Kyle had a chance to react, a figure burst through the roof and blocked Rachel's attack. It was a middle-aged woman in a bug-shaped mask. She was brandishing a bug-shaped stick. The woman began to fight with Rachel, flicking her weapon back and forth with surprising speed. Rachel tried to fight back, but it was obvious she was no match for the interceptor. With one quick move, the bug vigilante drew her foot high above her head and drove it straight onto Rachel's hand. Wow. The weapon clattered to the floor. Rachel attempted to run again, but was met with a stick to her legs. She fell at the feet of a police officer, just arriving from Kyle's call. That fast, Rachel was charged with 7 cases of grand larceny. After her first month in jail, Rachel started a reality TV show filmed in her cell about prison cooking. Only this game. The show gained immense popularity, and somehow the public began to love Rachel all the more. Kyle made guest appearances on Rachel's show many times. The identity of the bug vigilante was never known. She remained a mysterious but important part of local law enforcement. So guys, that was Kyle is Famous, the only game where a bug vigilante comes from out of nowhere. Did she intercept like a police call or something? And Kyle didn't give the police any idea of where they were. Did they they traced the call and got there in 5 minutes. Only this game. Only this game.